Yes. What's going on? This is Ben, aka Day Trading Addict, and I have another good video for you guys. Today, we're going to talk about how to draw supply and demand zones the right way. So, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because over here, what I do, I help struggling traders take their trading to the next level because I've been trading these markets for 13 years and I know that it is hard when you look at these charts and you don't know what's going on. Trust me, I understand that it can be hard sometimes. I'm the guy that's going to help you take your trading career to the next level. So don't worry, I got you. Shout out to all my addicts out there because you know I'm not the only one that's addicted to these markets. So let's dive in, guys, and let's talk about how to draw supply and demand zones the right way. Now, before we get into that, I want to show you, okay, how I find my zone first. And this works in any market. I don't care what market it is. This works right here in any market, all right? So let's talk about how I find my zones first. Now, when I discovered supply and demand, what I noticed is a lot of people, okay, they pretty much had their zones far away. Now, if you look at this chart right here, notice how we have a zone right here, okay? And notice how we have price going to the zone, and we have to wait for price to get to that zone. Now, there's nothing wrong with waiting for a nice supply and demand zone, and you're waiting for price to hit that zone, okay? And you're taking a trade off that zone. There's nothing wrong with that. But since I day trade, okay, and I mainly, day trade the small time frames like the 5-minute chart, sometimes the 1-minute chart. So I need to be able to trade every single day. And I found out that it is very hard to trade every single day if I have a zone this far away. So what I said to myself is, how can I find short-term supply and demand? And I said to myself, you know what? The market is a wave machine. So when the market goes up, it goes up in waves, okay? It doesn't just go straight up, okay? It's a wave machine. So if you notice that when the market goes up sometimes, we would create these demand areas right here, okay? And this is where me personally, I look for trades when I day trade. Now I'm gonna show you guys some examples. So I just wanna show you guys how I find my zones because it's a short-term supply and demand zone. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I day trade. Now, these zones right here, you see right here, this is not an indicator. I do have a custom indicator, and I actually made this indicator specifically for day trading. Okay, you can actually use it for swing trading too because you can change the strength of the zones, and I'll show you guys later. But this is not an indicator right here. This is just basically me drawing a zone. And I'm going to show you guys how to draw the zone, okay? But another thing I realized is when the market comes to this zone right here, okay, and the zone is so far away, guess what? The market pretty much started a new trend, right? Think about it. You're waiting for this zone right here, but the market pretty much started a new trend. So it's almost like you're trying to fight a train and the train is moving fast and you're trying to stop that train. A lot of times it will, hit that zone and just keep going up. Not always, but a lot of times. And I said to myself, it has to be another way. And I said, okay, let me look at how the market moves, okay? And the market moves in waves. So I don't care if it's going up in a trend or if it's ranging, okay? It's still a wave. So the market is a wave machine, and that's how we are going to take advantage of this supply and demand. So let's go. Okay, so right here, guys, we have a nice demand area right here. And I'm going to show you guys how to draw supply and demand areas. And if you're new to supply and demand is just aggressive buying and aggressive selling. Okay, so we're looking for nice size candles. The reason why we're looking for that because we know that retailers, okay, they can't push up the market. So if the market is moving up like this, we know that smart money, okay, the people that have the money to push up the market, those are the guys that's buying the market right now. So if they are buying, okay, the concept is basically if they are buying, that means that it's a strong possibility, okay, the market will continue to go up. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's going up for 5 minutes or 5 hours. Okay, it's a strong possibility that the market could continue. So we're waiting for a price to come back to the zone. Now, the first way you can draw a zone is you can actually just use the wick. Okay. Now, this is, in my opinion, it's okay. But the reason why I don't use just the wick is because a lot of times you will see price come very close. Okay. But, for the most part, a lot of times it will never come to the wick. Okay. So I don't like to, put it right at the wick. Another way you can do is you can actually, the candle that started the move, you can take that candle and use that candle and wait for a price to come back to that zone. Okay. And then the last way, the way that I like to do is if we have multiple candles, okay, around the zone, I like to take the meat of the zone, okay, and cover all the candles. So notice how we have, a lot of candles right here. And me personally, I'd like to use that as my zone because sometimes it won't even go deep into the zone. It will just touch the zone a little bit, okay, especially if you have it, right here where you cover all the candles, touch a little bit and then shoot off. So me personally, I like to get the meat of the whole zone and wait for a price to come to that zone and then take a trade from there. Okay, so let me show you guys some more examples. Okay, so here's another example right here. We have nice selling going on. Okay, we're waiting for price to come back to this area. So let's say that you say, okay, this is the wick right here. You're waiting for price to come back to this wick. Like I said before, a lot of times price will almost never come to the wick. Okay, and then you have the candle that pretty much started the move, okay, which is right here. And sometimes price will never get to that level right here, okay? And then you have the meat of the move, which I like to do, okay? So you see we have multiple candles right here, okay? And then I will put it right here, and I'll wait for price to come back to this zone, and I'm going to take a trade when price hits that zone, okay? So that's what I like to do. I like to look at the candles that's around the zones, and then I will draw my zones that way. And let me turn on the indicator for you guys. All right. Now, this is a custom supply and demand indicator. So notice how this indicator is showing you supply right here. Okay. We have a nice drop right here. This indicator doesn't draw the zones because you don't need it, because it's showing you where supply is. You, as a trader, you're going to say, okay, well, I want my zone either right here, or right here. Okay. You have a choice as a trader. Okay. Me personally, I day trade supply and demand, and I need it to work a certain way. And with this indicator, the good thing is you can actually adjust the strength. Okay. So what I mean by that is if I need the indicator to show me more zones, I could. If I need the indicator to show me less zones, so if I'm swing trading, okay, maybe I don't want too many zones. Right here, this is the 1 hour chart. So I probably don't want too many zones. So I pretty much decrease the strength of, supply and demand zones. I just want, certain zones to show up. Okay. And this is the good thing with this indicator. And also you can actually change the colors, and you can turn on. Right now, price is going down, so I only have supply turned on, but if price goes up, I can actually turn on demand. So that's the good thing about this indicator. And this indicator will help you basically understand supply and demand a lot better, and it will help you train your brain to find these zones. So this is what I love about this indicator. Okay. And right now, the only way you can get this indicator right now is only through my training program, which is the link below. But let me show you guys another example of how to draw supply and demand. Okay. So right in here, we have a zone. Okay. Again, if you are one of the traders that want the price to come to the wicks, again, sometimes you will just miss out on some trades. Now, right here, we have the candle that started the move right here, the last candle. This trade, you probably missed this trade right here. But I noticed that we have some information around the area. So to me personally, I would probably put it around here. Okay. And I wait for price to come back to the zone and then wait for a trade. I believe if you are a beginner, it's probably the best way to go first. And then you can actually experiment with, the wicks or the first candle. Now, let's say that right here, we have a zone right here and there's no information. Well, I just put it, the last candle, and that's it. But if I do have information, okay, when I say information, candles around the zone, I'm gonna basically use those candles and then use that as the zone, and wait for price to come to that zone. Okay, so we have a nice trade right here. Actually, let me turn on the indicator. Let me see what the indicator is doing. Let me see right here. All right, so the indicator basically showed this one. We actually have a zone right here. Let me see this real quick. So the indicator is actually spotting some good zones. This is how I would draw this zone right here, and we had a nice trade off this. So again, I'm looking for the meat of the move, and I'm looking for price to come to that area. Let me show you guys another example. Okay, so here is another example right here. Again, you can use the wicks, and this time price did come to the wicks right here. Okay, or you can use the first candle, which is, I would say, the first candle pretty much is right here, but you can use this candle right here if you want to, but I would say right here. Or you can use the meat of the move, which is, you see these whole bunch of candles right here. I'm using the top of this wick right here, and I'm looking for price to come in that zone. All right, and you're looking for a trade. So that is it. Actually, let me turn on the indicator. Let's see what the indicator is doing. All right, so the indicator is showing you guys some demand areas right here, and again, you're waiting for price to come to that zone. All right, and you're looking for a trade. Now, before we go, two things I want to talk about. Okay, number one, when you use supply and demand, you have to be consistent. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you took a trade right here and you use the wicks. Now, let's say this trade right here, you want to take this trade, we have demand, so you're waiting for price to come to that zone, right? You can't say, well, this trade, I'm just going to use, the move that started the candle. You can't do that. Okay, you got to be very consistent. Okay, so one trade, you're using the wicks. The next trade, you're using the first candle that started the move. The next trade, you're using the meat of the move. You can't do that, guys. You have to be consistent. If you want consistent results, you have to say, okay, I'm only going to use the meat of the move. Okay, and then when I get used to the process, okay, then I can maybe switch it up to only the wicks, or just maybe the first candle, whatever the case is. You can't just one trade, I'm going to do the first candle that started the move, and then the next trade I'm only going to do the wicks. No, guys, that's how you get mixed results. So you can't do that. Stick to one way and then do that for a long time so you get used to it, and then you go from there, right? And also another thing is, look for fresh areas when you're trading supply and demand. Okay, right here we have demand area right here. When price left this area, we never came back to this area, and this is the first time. Now, a fresh area is basically an untouched area. Okay, so right here, when the market left this area, the market never came back to this area. This is the first time it came back to that area. So let's say that price came to this area and then came back again. Do you want to take that next trade? For the most part, if you're trading this for the first time and you're new, you do not want to trade this multiple times. Just stick to fresh zones, and then if you want to experiment with a second test, then you could do that. But if you're trading this for the first time, just only trade the first test, and that's it, right? Okay, guys, so that's the end of this video. I hope you guys got some value out of this video. If so, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram. Join my free Telegram group. Make sure you check out my training program, because this supply and demand indicator actually comes with this training program for free. So check out that link below. Share this video. Also, watch more videos on my YouTube channel. Comment below, because I try to answer all your guys' questions. Again, thanks for watching this video, and please have a great day.